This one's sure to get everybody rolling. Good morning, everyone. This is Josh Elbow. In the audio video, depending on where you're watching this today, I'd like to talk about how having your kids do chores makes them grow up to be poor. Ooh, I feel like, I don't know, I hope it gets under some skin. I hope it not to get under skin. I hope it purely, the reason I say that is because I want people to start thinking for themselves versus being sheep and doing what they were told and not thinking and not questioning anything. That's the entire reason. Like, that's how we learn. That's how we make mistakes. The entire name of my podcast is Mistakes Were Made. That is purely going over all the mistakes that I've made that have cost me probably upwards of several $1 million by now by not capitalizing on different opportunities, but also things that I've missed that I didn't even pick up on because I didn't know they were there. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you go like the video because it helps out the algorithm. It'll be a good, fun one. I'll make you laugh a couple times. And then also subscribe if you haven't done that. So thanks for doing that now. Now, having your kids do chores, whether you're paying them, whether you're not paying them, whatever the case may be, keeps your kids poor, keeps generational poverty going, and makes them think poor. And the reason I'm saying this is because let's purely from a market standpoint, money is there to move people. Money is there to move energy, let's call it, even on a better level. So when your kids are, and I don't have kids, so I could be completely wrong. I would love to hear why I'm wrong in the comments because I'm open to being wrong because nobody's perfect. And that whole point is that we learn from this, but I want to hear different thoughts. But let's look from the market standpoint. If your kids return on investment over the long term for their life on knowledge, on money, on all these different things, which one's more valuable? Your kids spending an extra, I don't know, let's call it 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes to an hour a day. I feel like an hour would be way high, but let's say for easy math, it could be less, it could be more. But having your kids do chores for 30 minutes a day times a month, that's what, 900. I don't feel like doing the math. Let's say they spend 10 hours a month doing chores. After that's 120 a year. The point more so is the mentality, not the actual. I wasn't going to calculate the dollar amounts on how much chores actually cost, but the mentality of like when they grow up and they, instead of taking their clothes to the cleaners, they wash their clothes themselves, just taking the time. Or instead of taking their car to the car wash, they wash their car by hand, and it takes 5 times as much time. Or cutting their own lawn, when you could pay somebody $10 to $15 an hour to do that. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because yesterday I watched a video by Eric War on Instagram. Eric War is like the network marketing pro. Like, he's the go-to guy when it comes to network marketing. And I have my feelings about that business itself. I love the model because it's purely sales. I absolutely love sales because it's, are you valuable? Can you sell or can you not sell? And the bank account's the best way to answer that question in a yes or no binary fashion. But the point he was making was, like, you're training your kids for life, right? The whole point in having kids is to put them out, I'm presuming, is to put them out in the world where they're going to be able to become a valuable asset to society. The part is greater than the sum of the parts is greater than the whole ideology. So that when they're 18 or however old now, they go out and they're a productive member of society and they're helping the cause of the world, let's call it. But when they're thinking in terms of, oh, I have to spend X amount of time this week, cutting the lawn, doing laundry, doing the dishes, cleaning the house, cleaning my car, like all these mundane tasks that could be paid out for $10 to $15 to $20 an hour even. That's poor thinking. The example that Eric used in the video was, how much do you make an hour? If you're in sales, let's say you make anywhere from $100 to $500 an hour when you're in front of prospects. Because there's 3 sides of this coin, kind of. So every minute that you're spending on chores that you're not selling, you're losing out on $485. Let's call it $500. $485 an hour. because you're choosing to do a $15 an hour labor work task instead of choosing to do the sales task, which my dad used to get in my case all the time about this, because I would hire people to do the dip lab work and I'd pay them $10, $15, $20 an hour sometimes. But he would always say, like, well, when you pay them to do the work, you're missing out on that money. And it's like, yes, but I can't get that time back. My time was so many times more valuable than the $20 an hour I'm paying. But the other side of that coin is your time is only more valuable than that if you're in front of people selling, closing sales, or if you're doing something that's actually worth more value. So in my personal opinion, I know what people feel. Everybody loves books. Like all the Bill Gates type people say to read books. And I think my books have made me countless amounts of money. But I don't want to sound naive by saying, well, I'm going to hire somebody and then go read a book on like mentality or spirituality or something. Like something that does have that dollar for dollar return on top of what it's being spent on. But it's training, especially if you want your kid to be like an entrepreneur. But this is for everybody. They're training them to value their time very little by making them do chores, because they're things that need to get done, but their time is so much more valuable. So you're putting a cap on the value of I'll really call the parents out for fun. You're putting a cap on your value of your child's time at $10 to $15 an hour, because you could be paying somebody to do that and they could be using their time for something much more profitable. So you're subconsciously telling them that their time is not worth it, because you want to tell them what to do because they're your kids, because it's your house and your rules, whatever the case may be. So there's some food for thought for you. I really want to hear why I'm wrong, because I know I am in at least some aspect, like realistically, but just for fun. But what's the other side of that? Like if you made more, couldn't you just hire somebody to clean the house? Couldn't you take your clothes to the cleaners because you're doing better things with your work? Or by all means, who the hell am I to tell you how to parent? I'm nobody. So instead, what if you taught your kids, okay, these are your options. You can do the chores yourself because it's my house, my rules. And I'm a narcissist. You can tell your kids it's my house, my rules, and you got to do the chores. But you also give them the option, or you can find a way to generate an income on eBay or flipping on Facebook or drop or whatever the billion opportunities there are to make at any age $5,000 a month, at least $1,000 a month. Like, you're lying if you can't do that. You're just not working, or you're afraid, or there's other limiting beliefs there, but that's not honest. But what if you give your child the option to do that? Say, hey, you can do the chores, or I'll show you how to set up a business if you want me to teach you. And you don't have to, even if you don't know anything about your business, like care enough about your kid to learn these new skills, or just have them learn for themselves. Be like, you have the option to pay someone to do their chores, the siblings, whatever the case may be. But like, capital is used to move people, to move energy. So not stop, because I don't know what's going on, but don't put limiting beliefs in your child's head. In my opinion, who am I to tell you to parent? Tell me fuck off, I don't care. About their value of their time, because everything's training them, in my opinion. Like this, at least this is how I plan to hopefully raise my kids. Unless I pull a damn Bilzerian, but that's a different conversation. So there's my food for thought for the day. Making your kids do chores is keeping them poor and setting them up for failure. The other side might be, we could probably say something about work ethic, but at the same time, I feel using your mind to work is so many times more valuable than using your physical body to work. I'm a huge fan of working out because it forces you to combine the mind and the body. Huge fan of cold showers because it forces you to deal with the short-term, not pain, but physical uncomfortableness. So I'm all for like creating situations where you have to do things you don't like, which can create the work ethic side, like with working out, let's say, because it's the uncomfort, the breaking down. So just to get the ball rolling, food for thought, I would love to hear your take so much. I would almost, like I've done in the past, where people will DM me and tell me I'm wrong, and I'll be like, I would pay you to tell me why I'm wrong. But I feel like that might get expensive quick. And 90% of the time, they just want to tell me I'm wrong so that they can tell me I'm wrong and they can be right. Because I'm the narcissist, not them, of course. But assume I'm wrong in this video. Food for thought. I love you so much for watching and listening. If you have any questions you think I can help you with one-on-one, you know I'm here to help. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at TheJoshElbow. Shoot me an email at summitsme@gmail.com. Let's gain this grain, baby. In the words of my boy Ben. I'll see everyone in the next video.